Hey everybody, David here, and today I want to talk about Arrow Season 8. I just got done watching the final two episodes, and look, this season of Arrow was fantastic. I'm not going to say it's the best season overall. After all, Arrow has had its greatest seasons, and it has had a couple of miss seasons. Season 4 in particular, I think everybody can agree season 4 was the worst season of Arrow of all time, easily. But after season 4, I have felt that the show has gotten back on track. Some people were hard on it still a little bit. Oh, Arrow's still crap, but I disagree wholeheartedly. I think Arrow has found its way back since season 5, and this season could be one of the best since season 5 happened. I really love the beginning of this season with Oliver in prison. Now everybody knows who Oliver is. We get some of the inmates, some characters like Bronze Tiger and Diaz return in the cell with him while dealing with all of that. It was kind of like a Shawshank Redemption bit on a smaller scale with superheroes. But it was really good in the beginning of the season. And then when he got out of prison, we're wondering, okay, so how is this going to affect him now that he's out? And he joins the police force. Team Arrow joins the police force. And it was cool seeing that dynamic with the team and how they interplayed. I even like the way Laurel was presented this season. Obviously, she was still struggling a little bit with her dark side and not being a team player, but by the end of it, she did become a team player. I think this has been some of the best that Katie Cassidy has been given to her. I think this season they finally figured out what they wanted to do with her, because throughout all the other seasons, I feel like they always struggle with Laurel, with the old Laurel, and then even when I thought they figured it out with Black Siren, it seemed like they dropped the ball once in a while, like last season when they were trying to redeem her. Like, I liked her when she was bad, but then when they're trying to make her good, it was like, it felt weird, it felt cheesy. But this season, I think they really did figure it out, because I really do feel her redemption this year, was a lot more handled better. It was great seeing Roy back, Roy Harper, Arsenal. It was great having him back as a character, and we got him a little bit back in his old uniform, the red suit, back this season towards the end. I'm kind of sad he said he had to leave, but I have a feeling we'll be seeing him next season, because they kind of hinted at something. We still don't know how Roy ended up on the island at the beginning of this season in the future, because now this season they had flash forwards, because the first 5 seasons had flashbacks. Then season 6 was the only one that didn't have anything. They didn't have no flashbacks or flash forwards. This is the season where we got flash forwards, and now we're going into season 8. It's going to be a lot of fun seeing where this is all taking us. But I'm going to say, guys, I think this was a really great season overall. This might be my second favorite season, either second or third favorite. I don't know if I like this more than the first season or not. I still know season 2 is still my ultimate favorite season, but this is a good mesh up there with the first 2 seasons, definitely, of Arrow. Arrow has gotten back up as my favorite Arrowverse TV series, because I love The Flash, I love Supergirl, I love Legends of Tomorrow. I'm sure I'm going to enjoy Batwoman just the same. But Arrow is the first one. He's like the Iron Man to the Arrowverse, and I was worried about it. Like I said, season 3, half of season 3 and all of season 4 had me worried that it was Arrow losing steam, and I was sad during those years, because if you go back and watch my reviews, just go and see how frustrated I am, because that's when I was doing reviews for every episode. This year I didn't, but I wish I did, because it was just harder for me to watch the episodes on a day-to-day basis, and I've been watching it not on cable, I've been watching it differently, so that's why I couldn't do the reviews like I used to. But now having gotten to see it all and talking about it all, it was really cool. I really thought Wild Dog. I liked Wild Dog in the past, but I think he was the best use in this season. Same thing with Dinah, the new Black Canary who took over for the original Laurel. We had that one episode where Sarah came back, which was really neat. Where the three canaries got to team up. Hopefully, we get a little bit more of that because in the future, we learned about the canaries, right? We never really got to see that in the present day. So I wonder if they'll do something related to that next season. I believe next season is only 10 episodes, so however they plan on finishing it is going to be really interesting because by the end of this season, we know that Oliver is going on a quest now because the Monitor came back from the Elseworlds crossover. He came back in the final episode and said, "It's time for you to fulfill your quest." And it looks like Oliver's gonna whatever's gonna happen. We called it. A lot of people called it that he was going to have to sacrifice himself in the finale, and I think this episode pretty much confirmed it because Felicity left. This was Emily Bett Rickard's final episode, so that means she's not returning next season. And the way they ended her character felt like she was going to heaven. That's what they were pretty much saying there at the end, or they were symbolizing there that she was going to heaven because the Monitor told her once you go, you can never come back. So she's gone. That's it. She's already happily with Oliver in peace in heaven, if you will, if heaven's something you believe in. With that being said, I'm looking forward to the final season of Arrow. I think they have some really good set. I don't know what they're going to do in their final 10 episodes, but it sounds like it's going to be very heavily focused on Crisis on Infinite Earths. I want to believe that they're going to grab a little bit of past and maybe present DC shows and movies and somehow integrate them into the multiverse concept. It will be interesting. Or we could see the multiverse in a way where maybe it will allow us to see other versions of Oliver's life that he could have had. I don't know. They can go anywhere with the multiverse, obviously. And now it's funny because Marvel's starting to get into the multiverse with Spider-Man Far From Home. So it's kind of cool. Flash was the one that opened the doors, and now Arrow and Flash and Legends, and maybe even Supergirl will explore a lot of the multiverse. We all owe it to Flash, I guess, to get the ball rolling. And people that are already versed into the multiverse, where people are probably already educated in what it is now, thanks to Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse as well. So it's kind of cool. We're living in this time of superheroes, movies or shows, because it's like we're really getting into the nerdy stuff here, which is a lot of fun, and to see if they could make it work too. I'm rooting for Arrow season 8. I think they're gonna pull out all the stops. I think Stephen Amell has grown more and more as an actor. And I'm looking forward to seeing where his career goes after this because I know it's always not easy finding your next big gig after this. Obviously, he was part of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie with Megan Fox, Out of the Shadows, where he played Casey Jones. And the movie wasn't obviously well received, but I thought he was great in it and one of the highlights of that film. Even though I was disappointed with it myself, I still want to see Stephen Amell succeed. Number one, he's Canadian from Toronto, so gotta give major props to him. And yeah, I mean, like, you watch this finale, him and Emily have great chemistry together, and you can see why they decided to choose this relationship over the Green Arrow Black Canary relationship. Look, I understand the people that wanted that relationship more. Elicity never bothered me, only in season 3 and 4 of the show, because I feel like they were bringing more of the drama aspect. What I like is when Felicity is more supportive to Oliver, and I think they really made that flourish in this season a lot, especially in this final episode. I felt the emotional impact of them being separated together. And then when she wanted to go to him in the finale, in that final moment of the episode, was in the future, was really great. I guess I haven't said enough of the future yet, but I will say I thought the future stuff was terrific this season. It had me really engaged. I haven't been. When you go back to the earlier seasons, I think the first two seasons of the show had great flashbacks, and that was one of the big draws of the first two seasons. But then by season three and maybe four, I think the flashbacks started to get a little annoying. We were more interested in the present day stuff, which is weird. But then season five kind of got the flashbacks back on track. But I was kind of happy that they were gone afterwards. Because I was like, yeah, we don't need the flashbacks anymore. I'm kind of glad they're gone. Even though the season 5 brought back the flashbacks and made them a little bit more interesting, I was glad they were gone in season 6. The flash forwards made me more interested in what was going on and where they were leading us, because the future is always the unknown. The flashbacks, I feel like they did know what was going to happen in certain places, and sometimes they had to stall, which is why in season 3 and 4 the flashbacks were really dull and boring for the most part. But this season, because they're creating the future on where it's going to go, it made the writers have to plan it out as they went along. So there were no seeds in motion. Oh, maybe we can do that later on. No, the future is what you're writing now. So what you do is what's going to have to stick. And I did like seeing the more older William and learning about him and Mia as well, Oliver and Felicity's biological daughter. Because remember, William is not Felicity's born child, but she did treat him like it, which was really nice and encouraging. It was kind of heartbreaking too that William was sent off with his grandparents from his other mom's side, and only learning like why did they get rid of me after all this time. And so I like really hanging out with these characters in the future, and hopefully they give us a little bit more flash forwards in the next seasons, unless they don't need it. If they don't think they need it, then that's fine. I think we are going to get it, because I do want to see a little bit more of that future on how they can wrap a little bit more up. I think there's still a little bit more wiggle room there that you can play with. I think you can even do a whole spin-off series of the future of the Arrowverse. So make an Arrowverse beyond, or an Arrow Beyond. I don't know. I think that would be cool, especially if you have Batwoman. You can eventually introduce Terry McGinnis into that world too. I've been rooting for Batman Beyond on the Arrowverse for a while. I was rooting for it on Legends of Tomorrow, but I'd be okay with it here too. With that being said, guys, look, this was a really cool season. I can't wait for the final season. It's only going to be 10 episodes long. I can't believe so many things are coming to an end this year. Game of Thrones, the Avengers, well, the first 6 Avengers, I guess, the original 6. Gotham came to an end, Arrow's coming, and Supernatural's going to be ending soon. It's like, man, so many things I love are ending. Avengers is not completely ending, but you get what I'm saying. So with that being said, I hope you guys like this video. Please comment below if you are a fan of the Arrowverse or Arrow or any of the shows in general. Yeah, please subscribe if you are a fan of the Arrowverse, because obviously I'll be doing reviews of the other shows too. And with that being said, until next time, take care.